Guys, our next guest is a former UFC and Strikeforce champion who just wants to fight. So today we're going to see if we can find him an opponent together and make that happen. Killer looks, killer question mark kick, and the face of Ralph Lauren's Polo Blue, Luke Rockhold. Welcome back to Submission Ready. Joining us from Mick Fanning's house after hanging out with Olympic hero Owen Wright. It looks like you guys have had a bit of fun on your Instagram there, Luke.
Yeah, we all went for a little surf this morning, and and drove down to come visit Mick, who just got here to the States. So we just check out his little spot. His boy's grown up nicely, little Xander. So it's nice. Get a little surf, hang with the family.
Dude, just speaking on Owen, he's someone that's really captivated the hearts of everybody down here in Australia. Unbelievable story. And for those that don't know about it, because they might not be living in Oz, basically overcame a brutal brain injury to come back and win an Olympic medal at the latest Olympic Games. I mean, when you saw that was happening, what did that mean to you? Because I know to everybody here who didn't even know him, just such a huge and emotional moment for everyone in the country.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's massive. And to see him like go through the paces, and, he had to come here before. And he's been living at our house for 2 months before. He was living with me.
Really?
For 2 months before, leading up to the Olympics. And so, obviously with being Japan and how bad the waves were and how big he is, it was just like, it just didn't really feel like a fair shake, him going out there. And it was just like, it was inspiring to watch him work every day as hard as he was, not really giving in to the reality of there probably wasn't going to be any swell. And thankfully a little typhoon came through and they got something to work off and did his damn thing. But, it's funny. We made fun of him because he got this little like bike from Big Five, like $125. And like, he just had his little routine. He just stuck to in the backyard and just ripped it every day. He was served as much as he could, the shittiest waves out in Venice and up and down the southern coast here of Cali, and got the job done, man. We were over the moon, psyched for him.
Did you find any extra motivation? I mean, obviously you're someone who's had some, pretty notable injuries in your career that you've had to overcome, and obviously, him very much being in that same boat. I imagine it was pretty inspiring for you seeing him make that big comeback.
Yeah, no doubt. I've known him for quite some time, and the injury. He came to me and asked me a lot of questions when it originally happened. I remember kind of schooling him a little bit on protocols and different things, what to do. But he's gotten smarter.
Really? Wow.
It's amazing. Some people, they take their shots and they gain a different level of consciousness, and you have to work so hard to surpass it. A lot of people can get past that even further.
Yeah, well, I think all of us are definitely inspired by it, and congratulations to him and his beautiful family. They're on TV here quite a bit, and for all of us, that was a huge win for the country. But let's talk about this big opponent hunt that we're going to talk to you about. Before we get to that, we got to get to this first. What's going on with you and Michael Bisping, man? Is he officially your new best friend? We see a lot of hangs on the socials.
I'm not about a lot of hangs, but it's sometimes you got to let things go, and he ain't all that bad of a cunt, So.
I love it. This is like the feel-good story of 2021, I feel like. You, Michael Bisping, from rivals to like close friends. There's so many questions, man. Prior to this bromance, let's call it that, how long had it been since...
I get it, hers.
All right. Not quite bromance level yet.
He's met Lucy, though. He's met Lucy, so that's a lot further than a lot of the other friends.
I think everybody in the world knows Lucy at this point. I tell you, I walk in with her and people like run to her. I'm like, who the hell are you?
The zombies on the side of the road.
Yeah. How long had it been since you and
all the hot in the restaurants, really, typically.
Oh, well, there you go. Lucy, the ultimate magnet. How long had it been since you and Bisping had actually spoken before you guys, got talking?
We crossed paths here and there, but we've always like DC's working with him, and Perillo's obviously, I've always been around Perillo a lot lately, and the relationships between DC and Perillo and them. So it's always been them both have been trying to like put it together. I know, and I think be both on the opposite ends, or like he can't be all that bad if he's friends with my friends, kind of thing. I don't know. So it is what it is, and I ain't going out of my way to call him up to go get lunch or nothing like that. But if I see him in the gym, we see him in the gym.
I feel like Jason Perullo would be a really good like marriage counselor, or like maybe we should get him out to the war zone, because if he can get this done, right, Luke, the man has some serious skills.
Perullo is one of a kind. One of a kind.
I'm not gonna ask results here, but how did you guys actually? How did the subject get broached about? Hey, let's have a bit of a sparring session.
Oh, it wasn't much of a sparring session. We're gonna we interacted.
So it's just for the cameras to fool us.
We interacted. He did jump in. I was beating up some kid on the ground. He was like, "Come on, Luke, let's fucking go. Let's roll." He jumped on. I was like, "All right, you want to play with fire? Let's go, boy."
What was it like after all these years? Like obviously the rivalries. You guys have fought twice. What was it like to finally get your hands on another man for a long time? Maybe that question was worded funny, but you know what I mean.
Man, it's just I don't really care at this point. That's not my focus. I've lost that urge in that one. I'm gonna feel for the guys. Let them live with one good eye and live well.
Dude, I reckon it's a bit of like a Rocky Apollo Creed situation where you're not really letting on too much, but one day there'll be some kind of footage that comes out and we'll see what really went down. But I was going to say, I know that Michael has said he'd be happy to grab a beer with you. Have you guys actually grabbed a beer together? Has it gotten that far yet? Or is that sort of the next step in the relationship, you think?
Let's just move on. Are we talking about real fights here or what?
All right,
we're talking about the secrets. We want the secrets.
All right, there's a table booked at Attica for you and Bisping. It's there whenever you need it.
Eddie.
Okay, yeah.
When the country opens back up in like 5 years.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, when we're talking about real fights and your return, what's going on, man? Because it seems like you've had a tough time finding an opponent.
Yeah, I think Dana's trying to make it harder than it has to be, really. Obviously, just because of my outspokenness and different things. But this kid Sean has been offered. So I mean, they're trying to do something. I haven't heard any dates or anything like that. But there's that is something they're interested in, and I'm yeah, let's do it. I mean, he's not the most. He took a ranking. He did his thing, but doesn't help himself in any way, shape, or form with his style and his performance on mics. You
mean the cookie meth in a trailer thing?
You weren't a fan of that, Luke?
That guy just really say that, and then like my manager told me like that's his thing, and he says it every time. I'm like, what a fucking idiot.
What? Just out of curiosity, when was it offered to you? When did you find out? Because it feels like there's just been tumbleweeds for so long in trying to get you an opponent. So when did they offer you Sean?
They offered me Sean actually a while back, and I wasn't interested because he was fucking nobody. It wasn't the fight I wanted. It didn't make any sense. No one knew of him, and I didn't give two fucks about him. And now it's like Dana's trying to piss me off with it, and now he's obviously went out there. He beat Uriah Hall. He looked decent. And he took a ranking, so there's something to work with, I guess, now. And everybody else is really. They offered to Uriah. Uriah chose Strickland instead of me. They offered the Chimaev fight. Obviously, that didn't come to be. I like that too. That was exciting. That kind of got me up. I don't know. This is what we have, and there's a few other fights I just kind of dicked around with. So this is seemingly gonna happen. We just got to get a good fight date and something that's fucking sexy and timely.
I know you mentioned that like Dana hasn't really been willing to sort of get this process sped up. You feel like you haven't really been offered. I know like when we first started speaking to you, we were so excited about the big return. We still are, and we were just expecting a big matchup straight away. Are you a little bit surprised at how it kind of came together and how it's been played out? I mean, you've been on here ready to go for ages now, and we're still at this point.
I want a fight that's like intriguing. I've done my thing. I've been champion in 2 different divisions. I've taken my time away. I've been through lots of surgeries, and it's like I want something that was going to get me fucking fired up, and it just keeps falling through. And like, they're like, Sean Strickland. I'm like, who the fuck is Sean Strickland? What the fuck are you talking about? That's going to make me want to come back, and so I was like, you better give me something better than that. And nothing came to be. And month after month, it's just like fucking, they gave me a couple options, and then those 2 options fell through, and being a bitch about every other option. And so here we go. This is it. Fuck it. I don't care. The kid did his thing. He fucking got something of a name, I guess. Got a little momentum. I'm going to fucking take it.
When you say like Dana's trying to piss you off, what do you mean by that? As in like giving you matchups that you don't like, or just...
He goes out and says he offered Sean Strickland after there wasn't really much of an offer. And there wasn't like a fight date. It wasn't like a formal offer. He just wants to go put it out there like to put pressure. I don't know. It's stupid.
What would your reaction be if Sean Strickland didn't accept this fight?
What would Dana White's reaction be? That's the question.
Do you think it's likely? He seems like a pretty kind of easygoing guy. He's kind of...
Oh, yeah. He'll do whatever they tell him to do. He wants to fight for the UFC and only the UFC. I know this kid works.
I mean, he's just had that fight, but what kind of time frame are you looking at? Is it a situation like, did they give you a specific month or something that they're looking at? Because he just fought, but he seems like the kind of guy that would love to just get right back in there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm older and I need time to put everything aside in my life and just go full force to give it my best opportunity to get in there. So, I mean, October, November, it's probably the most likely story here at this point. I know they got Madison Square Garden, but sounds like a lot of things are getting mixed back up and might pull back. Fighting in front of a crowd was a big thing for me, and I wanted to get back into a stadium and make it feel right. Going back into the Apex just doesn't sound fucking cool. Doesn't sound like a good return. So, I don't know. We'll see. I haven't got a fight date. How have I? You offer me an opponent, you got to give me a fight date.
Could you imagine if you lucked out and you got MSG in your return? Jesus, holy crap. Holy Santa Claus shit, that'd be crazy. What did you think of Sean's fight, though, against Uriah Hall when you watched it? What'd you make of the performance?
What I thought, kind of. I've seen Sean in the gym. He's come through Ruka a couple times. So I've seen him in there, and he's got a very annoying style. And if you let him get there, he can get there. And he's like average. He's average all around, but he's confident. And he's got a very weird little awkward style. He comes forward and he can be effective. And Uriah Hall just showed no balls and didn't execute. Didn't throw any kicks really. Just stood there and gave him every opportunity to win that fight. And he did.
I kind of joke that Strickland looks like Bisping at 205 back in the day before his move to heavyweight with the shaved head and just kind of the look. And he sounds a little bit like Stipe, but then the personality is just something else. With his style, though, how do you think you match up with him as far as a challenge? I know you've been looking for something exciting. How do you feel like you match up with Sean and his style?
I feel like I match up fine. I feel like I bring a lot of things that I know his style. I see his style, and I'm gonna train hard. I'm gonna fucking put that style away. That's what I do.
And by the way, man, it's not like you're sitting there like Ben Stiller at the end of Dodgeball, just going, effing UFC. I mean, you're in shape, and if anyone goes in your Instagram, you look like you could get in there tomorrow. I'm curious though, man. Like he mentioned before, that you wanted an opponent that got you excited. You didn't get that. But is the fact that you haven't been able to get that opponent and the UFC hasn't really been offering you those fights and kind of maybe don't think that you deserve those fights, does that kind of motivate you to go out there and make a real statement against someone like Sean Strickland? And is that the motivator now?
Of course, all that builds to it, and all this frustration, and so it's mounting, and you got to give me a. I didn't get exactly. It's maybe not the fight I exactly wanted, but you give me the right card. There's still things that have to be worked out, have to be ironed out. It's not a done deal. So put me on the MSG, put me on something big, put me on something fun, put me on something that makes me get up for it. Because I'm not coming back for a reason. I
feel like it's like the meme from Titanic. 93 years from now, Luke Rockhold is 105 years old and we're just getting to his fight. I feel like it's been the same interview for a while. So I can imagine how frustrating it is for you. Can you imagine can you remember a time in your career where you've been this frustrated? Is this like, does this top it?
I don't know. I'd be more frustrated if I was Francis Ngannou and just getting completely fucked right now.
With no lube. That's a tough situation. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, that's frustration. That's true frustration and not right. Nothing is right about that.
Well, talking to Brian.
Guys,
sorry,
nothing. I'm going to flip that on that side and then we'll move on.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to be positive in your situation when you look at that. Just go back to Sean real quick. You mentioned you've seen him at Rooker. Did you guys ever train together? Did you guys ever spar together?
We trained a little bit together. Not much.
How much does that sort of give you as far as like intel and, knowing what you're coming up against?
I mean, he thinks he knows and I know what I know. So.
That's it. I feel like you're just holding out for the big autobiography that's going to drop. That's going to have, it's going to have the memoir, the Luke Rockhold memoir. It's going to have all the women. It's going to have the Lucy diaries. And then, of course, it's going to have the Michael Bisping, Luke Rockhold, what really happened in the matchup and everything else in between. And I can't wait to read it, man. I'm not going to lie.
That's not the case. Let's get a good fight card. Let's get a venue, a nice venue and a nice date. And then we could build this thing up. Then we can get to where we want to be. But, nothing's happened yet. There's no point.
Okay. Yeah. Got to ask you, though, man. It seems like you've got a new coach, Khabib Nurmagomedov. What's that been like, man?
Khabib's always been my boy. I've coached him and he's coached me. And we've been together in this thing for a long time. So it's, it's good to have him around at the gym. I got to go up there and visit the guys and get some wrestling in and some hard-nosed grinding. So it's good. It's good to have him back in the saddle, and he's definitely hungry to coach. He likes the avenue of just pushing, and he likes to sit back and not have to do all the hard work and just get to push and point. Don't we all love that? Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Him and DC both enjoying their retirements very much so. Then they come jump in when you get tired and they try to beat you up. It's perfect.
Do you feel like now that he's sort of retired from fighting and can focus on coaching, it's a different sort of coach Khabib to what you used to do with him back in the day when you guys used to coach each other?
Say what one more time?
Now that he can kind of focus on the coaching aspect compared to back in the day when you guys used to kind of coach each other when he was still an active fighter, do you feel like he's more passionate and kind of at a different level now as a coach compared to before?
Oh yeah, I mean, anytime you can switch the focus from yourself to everybody else, you have a different mentality, and you're more, things are ingrained more to help, and you just start finding those patterns and figuring things out and just better direction, so. It's a little different shit. It's a shift for sure.
What's he actually like as a coach? Like, I wonder how he compares to, say, like a Javier Mendez.
I mean, it's completely different. Yeah. He's very calculated, he's very reserved, and it's more about, the work ethic and just the grind and everything like that. Javier is more of the striking aspect of things, and Khabib wants to push you to your bitter end, to your death.
So he's more like, I guess, a coach in the sense of like, he's not necessarily going to teach you all these new techniques. It's more just, putting you through death so that you're ready for the fight, essentially.
I mean, there's technique to be gained and learned for sure, but I think a lot of it, is just teaching people how to find their fucking balls, find their heart, and then impress people and encourage people to go deeper and further and finding that fight, getting out of your comfort zone. And then you need somebody that's inspiring, that can push you through that stuff. That's what makes champions.
Well, I think, if there's a guy to sort of help with that, Khabib's definitely the one. What's your corner going to look like? I know we don't have a fight date or anything, but what's the corner going to look like? And would he be in your corner potentially?
Ooh, the hell knows. I don't know. I don't Hey, until I have a date, a date, a place, a venue, all these things that I'll, who the hell knows where certain people are going to be in the world. Where I'm going to be.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Who knows these things? Nobody knows where anybody's going to be. But wherever you are, wherever you're going to be, make sure you are there with smooth balls. That's the most important thing. And the best way to do it is with the leaders in grooming and male peak performance. And that is Manscaped's Lawnmower 4.0. The brand new baby is out. It's waterproof. More guards than you can shake a stick at. The ceramic blade. It's the skin safe technology. It won't cut your boys. It's got the travel lock so it doesn't go off in your bag on a flight to Antarctica and waste half the battery. It also comes, if you get the Performance Package 4.0, you get the Weed Whacker, which is fantastic. I've always wanted a nose hair trimmer my whole life to take care of this forest that's growing in here. And then the ear hair that has been coming up over the last few years, where the fuck did that come from? But the Weed Whacker takes care of everything. Those hairs don't stand a chance. And then you also get the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant for when you leave the house or you do your morning routine. The Crop Reviver Toner, which just kind of, wakes everything up down there like a mid-game check. And then you've got the Performance Boxer Briefs, so you've got some fresh undies to be wearing on your hot date or, 12 hours of Call of Duty, whatever. It doesn't matter. Just make sure you groom, make sure the beans are smooth, and make sure you use the code SUBMISSION to get your 20% off. Who doesn't like saving money? Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, Cass. Be at the top of your game with Manscaped. And speaking about being at the top of your game, what about making some serious money and being at the top of your game when it comes to your bank account with MyBookie? You guys can take advantage of up to $1,000 bonus on your first deposit with the promo code SUBMISSION. So many crazy fights happening at UFC 265. Don't miss out on the great prop bets. What about the Olympics? Are you guys going to make some money when that gold medal comes around? Only one place to go, and that is MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie and that promo code SUBMISSION. And Cass, while people are looking for places to make money on UFC 265 and places to go to do that, what about a place to go to actually watch the fights? UFC 265, it's so hard to find a pub that is showing the fights, Cass. And with Matchpoint, that is now made easy. You guys can find a pub near you that's definitely going to be showing the fight and not some replay of a pivoting contest from the 1800s. Get some HD clearance on that fight night and make sure that the big screen is showing the fights that you want to watch right now. It is difficult to find the place to go to, Cass, and Matchpoint is the place that gets you there.
Yeah, that's right. It's never been easier thanks to Matchpoint. You basically pick your teams. So in this case, MMA. You say, all right, I want to watch MMA. It even has the event for you, UFC 265, Lewis vs. Guy, and you click it, and then straight away it takes you to a list of all the pubs near you, right? You can go pubs, further away from you if you want. For example, I live in the middle of nowhere, but I want to be a little bit closer to Dennis, closer to the city. So you got all your pubs, you go in there, it shows the pub ratings, it shows what the pubs do well, what they don't do well, it shows what deals they have, it shows how many screens they have, it shows how many, it shows whether there's volume there. Sometimes you go to a pub and they're watching, they're showing a sport or a fight, but there's no actual volume, you don't get the commentary, and nobody wants that. So you can find that out beforehand, you can find out what kind of, food deals they've got, everything. In the future, there'll be fixtures. Matchpoint make it easy so you never have to pirate a UFC pay-per-view again. You can enjoy UFC 265 this weekend wherever you want thanks to Matchpoint. Oh, click the link below. We've already made it easy for you. Click the link. It'll take you straight to UFC 265 so you can call the bros, call the homies, and make the plans at your nearest pub thanks to Matchpoint. Isn't that right, Dennis?
That's right, man. But Luke, I am curious though, right now, obviously, hopefully Sean is the first step towards your next title run. And I'm wondering, who do you think will be champion by the time you make it to the title? Because I know Robert Whittaker's rematching Israel Adesanya next. And it's one of those rematches where it's down the track where Rob's been able to sort of evolve a little bit as a fighter. He's in a different mental headspace. We know Israel obviously experienced that battle with Jan. He was able to put in a great performance with Marvin Vettori. Who do you think will be champion by the time you sort of make it back to the title shot?
It's got to be one of those two. It's hard to go against Israel right now. Whittaker could land a shot for sure. But Israel's so flimsy, and he bends and flexes, and he takes the shot, and he comes back, off of awkward angles. And it's a tough fight for Robert, unless he really elevates and starts to look for takedowns and changes his angles. But when he leaps in like that, Israel's so good at just defying the odds of striking and getting back and out of position, but still being in position, while he's out of position and landing shots.
What did you think about the Vettori win? put in another dominant performance against him, second time.
I thought it was. I mean, he did what he had to do. I don't think that much of Vettori.
What about the Yarn fight? I guess if anybody was gonna,
Vettori's such a robot. It's pretty easy to understand and see. I don't think there's much to offer in that respect on the feet. I don't think it's didn't do great. I still haven't watched the Yarn fight. Still haven't watched the Yarn.
Really? Why is that? That's his first loss. I thought you'd be pretty keen on watching that one.
I will when I get there, sure.
It's definitely a fascinating situation. Do you think that with the evolution that Israel has had, it's sort of a different area where people need to look at to beat him? Or do you think it's a similar situation where you really have to mix it up against him and bring a very overall game and game plan to sort of be able to edge him out and possibly get some momentum in a fight against him?
Yeah, I think anybody who's been champion for as long as he has, there's a reason he doesn't. There's not like one direct avenue to beat him. You know, you have to have every aspect of the game, and you have to be able to fucking press and press further than he'll ever go. You know, and than anyone will go. You know, in that space. So Israel is. You know, I think there's a lot of avenues. Of course, you know, obviously the ground with me, it's different. But you can't just force the issue there. You have to let it come, and you know, you lose one, you got to get back to the next. And there's other avenues to get inside on him and different things. And you know, I think the outside, being able to attack and fight with him from the outside and use my length and just the tricks and the things that I have, I think are going to be assets.
Do you feel like you make a sort of attractive option for him, you know, down the line, just because obviously you being a former champion, you know, a big name, and Israel seems like he's looking for those big fights?
Yeah. I don't want to get too into it right now. You know, it's a long ways away. Israel's doing his thing, and I like the guy. He's a tough dude. So, I got one or two ahead of me. So, first things first, let's get a fucking fight date.
Well, I gotta ask this one really quickly, because it was his birthday the other day. Israel put out a tweet. He said, "PSA middleweights, you're fucked. Another metamorphosis happened on my 30-second trip around the sun. Bottom line, it has come to my attention that I'm gonna need to apply pressure on everything. But yeah, all you cunts at 185, get better or get better excuses. Have a good day." You're in the division. How do you take that? Although I feel like I know, because you just said you like the guy and you respect the guy.
Fuck, well said, cunt. Well said, cunt.
Love it. That's the perfect response there. You know the man. He's got hopefully a fight around the corner. Follow him at Luke Rockhold for all of his adventures around the world. If you're stuck in lockdown, go on his Instagram and live vicariously through the 007 of the MMA world, and check out some cute pics of Lucy. Luke Rockhold. Thank you so much, man. And thanks for joining us, dude. We can't wait to hopefully see this Sean Strickland fight, hopefully in front of a crowd. And the big return. It's been overdue, and fans they're counting down the days, man. We just need to find out a date.
Yeah. Cheers, cunts. Yeah.